Look, I'll start by confessing something. I never thought I'd need to break down my own trailer, but here I am, Superman, face to face with you to reveal what DC didn't have the guts to explain properly. There's a hidden detail in that desert frame that completely changes everything you think you know about the movie. And no, it's not just sand and dust. Stick around because I'm going to show you what's really behind that scene. Before you go flying off to the next video, let me make the request I hate to make. Yes, that one. The classic. Subscribe to the channel and leave a like. I know it's annoying, but if I, with X-ray vision and super strength, have to beg for engagement, just imagine everyone else. If you don't do it, I'll have to pay you a visit by flying to your house. And spoiler, I don't knock on the door. Let's start with a fundamental point. The whole story begins with the new DC universe being officially launched. I'm the first feature film of this new batch, and this is a fresh start. That messy timeline you've been following up until now, you can leave it behind. Creature Commandos has already opened the door, and Peacemaker will also be part of this new phase. But James Gunn made it clear. The idea here isn't for you to get stuck on chronology. The idea is to tell one good story at a time. Right at the beginning, we see the Luthor Corp tower in the background of Metropolis. And yes, this matters. It's not LexCorp. It's Luthor Corp, the company's old name. This shows that Lex is still closer to his father's shadow than to the empire he dreams of ruling. Details like this say a lot about where we are in this timeline. My relationship with Lois is already established. She knows who I am, and our connection is strong. The interview she does with me isn't just a couple's conversation. It's the essence of what this movie wants to show. And if you pay attention, you'll notice there's a direct reference to the classic scene from Superman in 1978. I also gave an exclusive interview, remember? Comment below if you remembered that one. During the conversation, I call Lois Cronkite. That wasn't by accident. It's a reference to the legendary journalist Walter Cronkite. The line serves to reinforce her investigative and determined side. And of course, it also works as a treat for those who enjoy these layers of pop culture embedded in the dialogues. But now she records everything with the shh device from Lord Tech, which belongs to Maxwell Lord, the same company that now controls the so-called Justice Gang. And before you think that's an exaggeration, know that there are clues throughout the entire trailer linking Lord Tech to this control, including those drones flying everywhere. They record every step of the battle. This is no coincidence. It becomes clear that there is still a certain naivety in me. I act to save lives, but I end up ignoring the political consequences. Lois highlights this with pointed questions, and that's when it starts to sink in. During the interview, the way I change my posture when I take on my Superman side is a direct homage to what Christopher Reeve used to do. David Corenswet really nailed that. A subtle change in voice, a shift in body language. Everything recalls that classic transition between Clark and Superman. Between one question and another, you can see a message in the sky written with my name. Yes, I was the one who wrote it. Romantic, isn't it? And of course, a visual touch that pays homage to my most classic versions. Oh, and speaking of classics, there's something worth highlighting. The green and purple suit of the Baravian Hammer looks a lot like Lex's armor in the comics. And that sets off an alarm. Could it be that he supplied technology to both sides of the conflict? That's just like him. This war shown in the trailer takes place in Baravia, a fictional country that has already appeared in the comics. And when the Yarnpar army invades, the civilians were being massacred. I intervened. I couldn't just stand by and watch from afar. Of course, that turned into an international scandal, but look, lives were at risk. And as much as the headlines condemned me, I would do it again. From that point on, the public started to see me differently. There are still people who support me, but the pressure is mounting. And Lex, as always, takes advantage of the moment. He uses the media, manipulates the footage, and starts building his own narrative. He wants me to be seen as a threat. And for that, he counts on Ultraman's help. Yes, the clone. No, not the one from Earth 3. It's an experiment created to face me, kind of like Black Noir with Homelander. On the other side, we have the engineer, a brilliant character, literally. She uses nanotechnology to create anything. She works for Lex, too. And she shows up at several important moments in the trailer. In fact, did you see how she slices my fortress robots in half without any effort? Oh yeah, Eve Taskmaker is there too. Remember her? Lex's classic partner. Now she's taking selfies in the middle of the chaos. Just a normal thing when you're dating a millionaire villain. Another scene that stands out, I get arrested. Rick Flag Sr. Achire Sauermashirich appears commanding the operation, DAP, and has a sign with the name of the street, Sau, Wade Street, a tribute to the great Mark Wade, who wrote some of my best stories. In the middle of all this chaos, Mr. Terrific, Hawkgirl, and Guy Gardner also appear, forming the new team. Guy, of course, always has that attitude that annoys everyone, but as always, he gets the job done. At one point, I'm locked up in a cell next to Metamorpho. The guy was transformed by accident and now he's stuck in his altered form. Apparently he's being blackmailed into synthesizing kryptonite, and outside Lois and Mr. Terrific are approaching in a ship. Looks like they're coming to rescue me. The mission isn't easy, especially since Lex is using Phantom Zone technology. That's right, that dimension the Kryptonians use to imprison criminals. There's a moment when I'm healed by the robots from the Fortress of Solitude. They use solar rays directly on my body. Just thinking about it already hurts. You saw it in the other trailer. It's my organs, regenerating. That's a direct reference to All-Star Superman. And of course, Krypto shows up too. My four-legged partner never leaves my side. Then there's the scene where I get up from the ground, surrounded by ordinary people helping me to my feet, which is reminiscent of what we saw in Superman 2 and even in the Spider-Man movies. It's details like these that show just how much James Gunn respects those who grew up reading these stories. The soundtrack, directly inspired by the '78 Superman, as well as the title card, and the fortress rising in crystal from the ice, complete the visual cycle. Even the poster of my favorite fictional band appears in my room, Mighty Crab Joy. Not to mention the childhood objects, the chess games, and the little organized chaos that is my room in the Kent house. By the way, my mom cleans my boots just like in the old days. And honestly, that gets to me more than any punch from Ultraman. To wrap things up, there's an action sequence at Metropolis Stadium, where I face off against the Engineer with support from Mr. Terrific. And while all this is happening, public opinion is divided. The world starts off looking at me with suspicion and ends up looking up to me. Literally, the trailer ends with the line, "Do you have a dog?" Yes, I do. And he's the best dog in the world. Now that you've stayed until the end, I'm going to make the classic appeal. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment. Otherwise, I'll have Crypto wake you up every day at 5 in the morning, barking the Metropolis anthem. And trust me, he sings loud. Your choice.